What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day of Philly sports history for January 2nd, 2023. All right, so typically I would come on here after a game like that and say, breathe, everything's going to be all right. And while I still kind of think that's going to be the case, I think we're all right. I think they're going to come out. They got a gift from the Giants now that they're in the playoffs, and then the Giants won't necessarily be motivated to play anybody. It's just more so, it's not a good way to go into the playoffs the way they're going to end up going. And I mean, this one's on the coaching staff. I mean, I don't see how you have your backup quarterback, your defensive line is, or your offensive line is banged up, and you're not calling any running plays. And when they were calling the running plays, they seem to be doing well. It just, I don't understand the play calling whatsoever. Yes, you can throw in the touchdown that was called back because of the phantom hold and this, that, and the other. I mean, sure, that might have changed the complexion of the game, but I mean, overall, they just did not play well. I think anybody that's going to blame that on the defense, no, it's 100% the offense. And more specifically, I think it was the play calling. I think the defense did what they had to do. I mean, he gave up the pick six. The defense only gave up 13 points. And that first drive wasn't good, but they did make the adjustments like they usually do. The problem is they did not make the adjustments on offense like they normally do. And that's on your coach and your offensive coordinator. And I'm not, like I said, I just don't get why you didn't run the ball more. Because whether it was Boston Scott or Miles Sanders, they were gaining bigger chunks of yards a lot of times. And the Saints don't necessarily have a great run defense. And then you put yourself in a position where you have to back your quarterback up and throw. And there, the one time, the one call where it was like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and or it might even been 3rd and 1, and you put your quarterback in a 7-step drop. Like it just baffles me, the play calling, and it was just kind of bizarre to say the least. But here we are. We still are in position to win the division, clinch that 1 seed, which more so than ever now is going to be huge because you need to rest these guys and whatnot. But at the same end of the spectrum, I mean, I don't even know. Like, we could go from the 1 seed to not even getting a home game. And it's just, like I said, I don't know what's going on, what's wrong. Maybe this is the old Philly coming back and the Negadelphia. I don't know. I mean, we could come out and they could look great with Jalen back in there and all is forgotten. But I don't know. I'm not as confident as I was a couple weeks ago. But we move on. Let's bring on the Giants, and hopefully they don't get caught in whatever. I mean, I've seen crazier things happen, so didn't want it to come down to this last game, but we built up that cushion throughout the year that we're here. They can still set a franchise record for wins. I'm not saying take deep breaths and everything's going to be okay, but let's see how next week plays out, and then we kind of can go from there. Quick tempo update. They moved to 2-0 in the AAC with a 70-61 win over Cincinnati. They look pretty well. And even the announcer said if they can play like this throughout the conference, they might be able to make a little bit of a run. It's a shame they lost all those stupid games early. And they could be sniffing the top 25 possibly, and even being in or sniffing the tournament or whatever. They could be in the tournament discussion and possibly getting close to top 25 considerations, we'll say. But big Sixers game tonight, rematch against the Pelicans from the other night when Zion just went off. So hopefully the Sixers can come ready to play and can get the win here at Philly at home against the Pelicans. But also a big Flyers game tonight. They play the Ducks, which is going to have big implications on the standings as we're trying to get closer to one of those top 3 picks. So today we're going to stick with the Flyers. We're going to go back to January 2nd in 2012. It was the Winter Classic. and the Flyers took on the Rangers, and it was supposed to be played at Lincoln Financial Field, I guess to fit more people in, and I think at the time they were doing football stadiums. But because of the NFL schedule and the NHL needing at least a week to set up the fields for a hockey game, they weren't able to play it there, so they moved it to Citizens Bank Park. And even then, the game got delayed 2 hours because it was relatively mild, much like it is outside today, or this week it has been. So they delayed it a couple hours because of the temperatures and sun glare. But when they finally kicked it off, the Flyers jumped out early, 2-0, behind goals from Braden Shen and Claude Giroux. But ultimately, the Rangers won 3-2. And this also was big in terms of, it was Eric Lindros' return to Philly. It was the first time he had been a part of anything to do with the organization since they traded him to, I guess they traded him. I don't know if he was a free agent or they traded him, but either way, when he got shipped to the Rangers. So it was a big deal. He played in the alumni game, shook hands with Bobby Clark, and it seemed like they put whatever they had behind them. So kind of a cool day in Flyers history. But on this day in 2012, the Flyers lost to the Rangers 3-2 in the Winter Classic. Big Sixers game against the Pelicans. Temple looking good for right now, but I feel like I've said that a couple times, and then they went on losing streaks, so we shall see. But as far as the Eagles, like I said, I don't know. I'm confused, and I need some more time to sort of digest this. Possibly tomorrow, I might be feeling differently. I just need to. I don't know what to think. Part of me is like, yeah, if you'd have told me we'd be 13-3 with a chance to clinch against the Giants, where the Giants aren't playing anybody most likely because of already having been locked into their playoff spot back in September, I'd been like, sure, I'll take it. However, the season didn't play out that way, and it's now. We were 13-1, and now all of a sudden things are a little dicey with the injuries and whatnot. But I mean, we've been in this position before with the Eagles, and it seems like with Andy Reid, and I know that was years ago. It was a different NFL, but there were times where it seemed like they backed into that number one seed and were able to put it together. So hopefully that is what we can do. But I'll have more on that tomorrow. Go Sixers. Flyers, I hope it's not go Flyers. We want you to lose. But until next time, have yourselves a Monday, and I'll see you when I see you.